we had our fiberglass professional come out. We got the worst news we could have possibly gotten.
Cleaning my home with someone else's used underwear that I'm just not okay with.
See that? That's what I'm trying to describe. See?
Hey guys, just a real quick note. Our GoPro was acting up again. About halfway through filming this roundtable, it got hot, and the sensor or the software or something inside it that levels the horizon and takes care of all the jitters when you're moving malfunctioned and started tilting the screen and leaning it up. The camera itself didn't move. That was all done with software inside the GoPro. So unfortunately, you're going to have to see a little bit of that. We apologize. We're trying to sort through our camera equipment. We cannot have unreliable equipment. We can't shoot something and then get back and realize, oh, we didn't capture. So we will do better. For now, we just have to apologize and say, on with the show. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. We are celebrating. This is our 20th episode. So, yeah, 20 Sundays of nonstop fun and pain and joy and strife.
Here's to 20 episodes.
Yeah, here's to the next 20.
That's right. That's exciting. Oh, I topped.
So in order to celebrate 20th, we have finally finished some things for the channel that we should have done a long time ago. So
That we've been intending to do, we just haven't gotten around to it yet.
We have a website now.
Are you going to tell them what the website is?
Oh, yes, it's forloveofwind.com. That's a good point. Yes. So, but that's exciting. We also now have Patreon.
Patreon! Yay!
That's all her.
Some of you have been asking if we have a Patreon account or if we're going to create one, and we finally have.
Misha will be doing daily updates for the patrons, and videos will be coming out early for them, things like that. So, yeah, we're really excited about the offering there and what's going to happen. Also, for a 20th episode celebration, next week we're doing an Ask Us Anything.
I think that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That's going to be an exciting episode. So you guys hit us up on Facebook and Instagram. DM us with your questions. Patrons will have first priority, of course. But let us know.
When we last left it, we had spent 5 solid days of 8 or 9 hour a day grinding. Yeah. We went to bed at 10:30. Still woke up at 3 and went and did one more day of grinding. We tape up to keep dust out of the sides, but it fogs up really fast. Just defogs it really well. It also feels good going across your eyes.
Yeah, it does.
And now we're good to go.
Burn it down, the whole city tried. Burn it down and everything inside. Sweet revenge through your song, and it goes through the night. Hear the cries for miles and miles. See the smoke stretch to the sky. Burn it down, the whole city child. Sweet revenge is your lullaby. The tears fall down your precious face, banished into the shadows of your own disgrace. Forgive them, but they feel no shame. If only they knew you held the golden flame, the sweet sound of demons calling out your name. is your lullaby. Your lullaby. Sweet revenge. Oh, oh, sweet revenge. Sweet revenge. Down, burn it down, the whole city tried. Burn it down and everything inside. Sweet revenge through your song, and it goes through the night. Hear the cries for miles and miles. See the smoke stretch to the sky. Burn it down, the whole city tried. Sweet revenge. It's your lullaby. Your lullaby. Your lullaby.
So we got all of the grinding done. Little finish work, but for the most part the grinding was done. Yay, it's 11 o'clock. We haven't had any sleep in like 24 hours. We should go to bed. But we can't. And here's why. The RV needs to be dropped off 3 hours away by 11 a.m. Tuesday morning. Because we only got it for a week. That's what we could afford. We have to get the dogs out of the RV and onto the boat. And then we have to clean the RV because it's got to be clean when you leave it. But the boat has to be livable at this point. Right?
And you guys saw what kind of condition the boat was in the last video.
There's a little picture of it right here.
Oh, nice.
So we woke up Monday morning at 3 a.m. We were on the grinder until 10. I think we cut out a little early. I think we cut out like 9:30 Monday morning because we knew what we had in store for us. And then we had to make this livable again. So there's no way. I mean, we did not get it all. It will take months to get it all, but we got it to a pretty decent, livable state. So, anecdotally, to get some cheap rags, because we were just pouring through paper towels, so we went down to the local marine supply shop, and they have these bags of rags, right? It's just torn t-shirts that they just shred and throw into a bag. And so I said, Misha, here's a $3 bag of rags. Let's get to cleaning. How did that turn out?
Well, for the most part, it was very useful, and we had a lot of good disposable rags that we could use for cleaning up. But there was a surprise for us in there.
There was a surprise for us in there. Bought a bag of rags. Misha, what's in the bag of rags?
It appears that nothing is off limits. Do you recognize that? Can you tell what that is?
I feel like if you held one end up instead of the other. There you go. It even has a tag on it.
I don't think I'll be using this rag to clean our cabinets.
No?
No, I don't think so. I'm sure it's been washed and everything, but there's something about cleaning my home with someone else's used underwear that I'm just not okay with.
Yeah, that's pretty horrible. Those are like prison panties or something. They have to be, right? Who donates panties to a rag company?
Those are all like used, right? And washed and torn. Like those are not unused.
That's why I think they're like prison, right? Because they have to be like issued and recalled, because there's not like a donate your panties to be rags.
No, not that I've ever heard of.
Yeah. It's not like Goodwill got underwear, so let's go turn it into rags or something like that. Maybe. I don't know.
So we've been working on getting the fiberglass dust cleaned up around the boat, and we have gotten it mostly under control as far as making the boat livable. Of course, we will be fighting dust for months to come, probably, because it's gotten into every little crevice on the boat, and a lot of things are going to take 2 passes of wiping instead of 1. But today's job is to clean out the dust from the bilges, because we've got our fiberglass expert coming this afternoon, and he needs to be able to see what's going on in there, and so he can give us advice on our next steps. So here we go.
Boat's clean now. We think we're mostly done with the grinding, so we're going to have a professional come out. The owner of Inspired Boatworks. We're not sponsored, but I have nothing but wonderful things to say about Inspired Boatworks of St. Augustine. He came over and inspected our grinding and told us what he thought.
Well, I want to say that once you remove that section of fiberglass, that's just glass that's sealing the cavity. It's
All the way up. I mean,
I don't necessarily know that you need to go all the way up. You know, granted that failed, you can make it a little bit bigger, but you don't have to come all the way up. Once again, to make your life a lot easier when it comes time to prep and, like, you know, gel coat this or build paint it, whatever you plan on doing, always stagger your joints. If you take 1, 2, 3, 4 all to the same point on here, you're going to have a big stack up of fiberglass. If you go 1, 2, 3, 4, then that's going to be so much easier to taper and sand down and get those hard lines to go away.
And on the inside of the boat, he thought we had done an excellent job. And our plan was sound. In fact, he thought our plan was a little overkill. And he talked us through a couple of techniques on how to put the glass in, which was very, very helpful. So yeah, you would just trim, basically you just trim it along that line.
Right in the middle of the radius. So let me see if this works. Okay, so see that wants to wrinkle?
Yeah.
See that? That's what I'm trying to describe. You see that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you'd do that there, and then you would do it here.
We'll put his link. We'll put his contact information in the description. If you're in the it's particularly northern Florida area, but if you're anywhere and you want some good fiberglass work, he's the guy. And so on the inside, he was pretty positive. On the outside, he was not. Okay, so we had our fiberglass professional come out. We had planned on doing some glass in this area this week. We told you we were going to be glassing. We got the worst news we could have possibly gotten. I mean, not like the worst possible news, but I thought we were done with all of the hard labor stuff, and we're not. So because of this crack here, and this is just because this keel, this is lead and this is fiberglass, and our keel bolts were loose and this sagged a little and it caused this little crack, this little separation. What we need to do this properly is we need to take all of the paint down to the lead, down about this far, and all the way up to this radius, all the way around. The paint, the primer, the undercoat, the barrier, everything, all the way around. And then we need to glass, not just this where we had these little blisters, but from here all the way down to there with epoxy. We'll use epoxy filler, and we're going to grind out a little bit of the crack. We'll put epoxy filler in there, and then we'll glass like 3 layers all the way around, which will bond the keel to the hull on top of the bolts, right? So we have the bolts that hold the keel up, and then this will bond the keel to that as well. It will seal up that crack so nothing can get underneath the hull, nothing can get between the hull and the lead. And it'll just stiffen up the whole situation. So this is the right thing to do. But this sucks. It is what it is. We're gonna do it right the first time. It's just not gonna be any fun. When we first bought the boat, during the survey, the surveyor noted that the keel bolts were in good shape, probably could use a little tightening. And then when we noticed the sagging, we noticed the flopping keel, the sag in the keel was about 2 millimeter. And this is what the fiberglass expert pointed out. He's like, this crack that has gone all the way around in your paint and your barrier coat, it's not damage to your hull, but it's left a little gap of water intrusion. We didn't find any delamination except the spots we had already ground, but if we're going to do it right, we have to seal all that up. We also have to have our keel bolts tightened. So we called in Topwater Marine. So he squeezed us in between jobs, thankfully, and came in. He had all the big equipment, the digital torque meters. We would have done it ourselves, but we would have spent as much as it cost just buying the equipment, which he already had on hand.
So the guy that's coming out to torque our keel bolts this morning wanted us to verify that our keel bolts are actually stainless steel, which we thought we were 100% sure that they were until he mentioned that you'd be surprised how often they are not.
We have 1-inch stud keel bolts. We're going to have them torqued to 325 pounds, which is the spec we got from Hunter. We know they're stainless steel because stainless steel will not stick to a magnet. As you can see, this is a magnetic. This is the stainless steel collar, no magnet stick. But this hammer obviously sticks. So as you can see, when we come down to our keel bolts, no stick at all. And then in truth, so he did an amazing job. And you wouldn't think that there's anything to torquing keel bolts, but he gave us all of the specs on the specific torques he went to, how far, not just in terms of rotation, but vertically, how far each nut moved on the studs. One of them was actually 0.2 of an inch. That's a lot. He was very transparent, explaining to Misha about the big plates underneath them and how they're not actually attached. They're more like giant washers, so they did spin a little and things like that.
Right, but that's fine. That's no big deal. But the studs themselves were fine.
We're very excited now. We have, on the inside, done all our grinding. On the outside, we have more grinding to do. Our keel is now tightly up against the hull, and we're going to glass it in so that it is even more bonded than before. This boat will be better than factory when we are done. So I guess that's where we're going to leave it.
Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the notification bell. And check out Patreon now. Patreon.com/forloveofwind. And don't forget to drop us your questions for our Ask Us Anything episode that airs next week. We're looking forward to hearing from you guys, and we can't wait to see what kind of questions you have.
We will take questions until Saturday, and then Saturday evening we'll get some drinks going and just pour through the questions. So
I love it. I'm looking forward to it.
You have till Saturday afternoon to DM us with those questions. So I guess that's it. We'll see you next time. Bye.